Hello.
Okay. Because like what I'm interested in
This
is
is
like
the sexiest man in Australia.
No. You're on your side of the webcam.
Hey. If you get blonde hair, you'll be the sexiest man.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Knightfall's
are
coming
all-
back with. He's gonna come back in a couple of hours when he's dyed his hair.
He's got blonde hair. You guys are all pussies for not having blonde hair.
Man, do you know how much of a pussy I am? My mum bleached my hair for my first year of high school.
Really, that's what this is. This is bleach, dude. I have black hair. Like, there's no other way that.
Oh god.
it just looks so funny because your beard is
I
like
have a
so
beard?
black.
Yeah, I have a beard and it's just blonde. No, it's ridiculous, dude. I love it.
I'm just gonna call you Dream from now on
Do it.
because
Dude,
you would
no,
take one
call
of those
me-
Dream
just call me
chocolates.
Slim. Just call me Slim.
No, because you got the chocolate here.
No,
and
he's
you know how
top
those
deck.
Dream chocolates have
He's
got
top
the
deck.
milk chocolate on top, like
No.
Oh.
the white chocolate. Like you know,
It's top deck.
like,
Top
yeah,
deck
that-
is the,
yeah,
it's
that.
the dream that's white all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
what you're rocking right now, man. Think about it.
Dude, I look like.
You are the top deck. You're not
I
the
look
top
like a
notch anymore.
look like a 1980s white rapper.
Oh my god. I can see
Throw
it.
down, man. Throw down some lyrics.
Yeah, dude.
Alrighty, let's start the stream up. Hey guys,
Ugh.
how you guys will be able to see what I look like.
I'm excited. This is my favorite part of the podcast every week is where I get to see you on the actual stream. I can't see you.
Is
on the
Temperwolf really
fucking
gonna
Skype.
scumbag this and not actually wear a tie?
I'm
Yes.
a little bit upset. I'm a little bit
Ah.
upset. Can you Photoshop like a Google image of a tie just underneath it?
I think I went
Oh,
a bit
God.
too overboard.
Are you wearing like a tuxedo or something?
No. You'll see.
Are you in a limousine or something?
Oh no.
You look so. You look like a actual pimp.
Oh,
Dude, this
man.
light-
I feel like I
no,
got
this
my-
light-
God, I love pre-show stuff. Like,
Dude, it's so fun.
Dude, you look like the most lax. That's like the loosest tie I've ever seen in my life.
It looks like you actually went into the forest and hunted a zebra, took its hide and made a tie out of it.
Oh my
Would
It's
I be
actually
correct
got
in that
skulls
assumption?
and spiders on it. Look, it just looks good from a distance. There we go.
I like how we just spend this like every week, first 5 minutes of the podcast is, oh, look what Knightfall's wearing. Oh.
It's great.
It's my favorite part is seeing Nightfall because I have to wait so long to actually see Nightfall.
Yeah,
That's-
and like here's my scummy internet. I can't actually watch the stream half the time and be in the Skype call. I hate you guys. So for this time, before we get further into rank, it is the DeOCEide podcast featuring your host, some guy, and the rest of the cast. Fantastic Knightfall.
Hello. How we doing?
Joining us this week, the fantastic guest. It's going to be Temperwolf from Incite.
G'day.
One of our brilliant cast of friends. It's Callum TheMachine.
Hey!
And finally, rounding us out, it's the King of Salt himself, sitting over there in the Salt corner, Matthew Topnotch Daily. All right, boys. So this is everything happening in your week of Smite. So, to start us off this week, we'd like to pay a big shout out to all the sexy overlays you guys are currently looking at. And they were done by Duke in our chat. Duke Boy, I believe it is.
It is indeed. Big props to him. He did this. I asked him, and he didn't ask for anything in return.
Oh.
And such a good bloke. He also did the Smite Oceanic Facebook page, not the group background and display picture. So, yes, definitely. Round of applause for Duke. Top guy.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get into the podcast. We're currently sitting at the semi-final stage with the CyberGamer finals, which is probably where we're going to land. First up, unfortunately, Topnotch, we all saw the last game. Unfortunately, your Team Silicon boys were knocked out by the Hattori, and they played a fantastic game. And we were talking about this before the stream. Temperwolf, you guys from Incite have been coaching those guys. I'd say you're pretty proud of how they played today.
Oh yeah, man. I am so proud of the Hattori. We've been working hard, scrimming hard with them, and just coaching them in every way we can. And like they had 2 substitutes today, and yet they still managed to come out and play like I've never seen them. Like they're absolutely on fire, and definitely got to look out for them.
Some of their
those guys.
rotations
Definitely.
just on point today. They were just
Yeah.
playing out of their minds.
Who actually were the subs?
It was Laney and the jungler. Forgot his name. That's really bad of me.
What role did Laney play?
It was
Cupid.
ADC and jungle that were
Okay, they did pretty well.
yeah, they did really quite well.
How do you feel, Topnotch?
A little salty. I could hardly not be salty, obviously. But I mean, you know,
Salt. How can you be
absolutely.
a little bit salty. What the hell?
The Hetero played absolutely fantastically today. You know, they were outclassing us in specific areas that we, you know, obviously need to pick up on. But yeah, good on them. Congrats for them. They're, you know, top 3 right now, which is good for them. And we really have to keep an eye on them.
Knightfall, you were an admin, and obviously Callum, you were the casting admin or caster. No, we were both casters, and Knightfall was an admin and caster. Knightfall, how did you feel about the today? How did it all run? Pretty smoothly?
A lot better than I thought it would. I was expecting spectator to crash, people to
Yeah.
I don't know. Things were. I honestly thought today was gonna crash and burn, but it actually went the best it could. It was so amazing. We got 80 viewers. We got people in here like Berserk was here, and then I think Anatoly did actually turn up at one point. Yeah, it was just all round a great day, and I can't wait for next week with the semi-finals and finals, both best of 3.
I think this has actually been the first tournament that we've ever had where there wasn't any spectator issues.
I
Like
saw
every
one
other.
stasis.
Yeah,
Oh,
There was,
yeah, but
there
that
was only about
resumed.
3 all
Yeah, so
day.
it's fine. Whereas, like all of the other CyberGamer tournaments that like I normally ended up doing Archon Hawk, like there would always be games wouldn't work, or like stasis mode that wouldn't resume, replays wouldn't load, and it's really stressful, especially as being the streamer. It's kind of awkward when there's so many people watching a stream and there's like a game doesn't work, and then it's just like it's really awkward. Like, oh, what do we do? And then you're sort of like stressing out in your head. And that really can affect the casting because, you know, it's all about the mentality. If you're not keen, you're going to be kind of awkward and making mistakes and tripping over your own words. So it's always sort of a worry in the back of my head when doing a stream is, you know, is spectator going to break?
Yeah.
But it seems to be actually really reliable now, which is really good because then, you know, moving on to future events and future tournaments, we don't really have to worry about that as much. I think we can depend on the spectate actually working, which is really exciting.
yeah. It's gonna be so amazing for us casters and the other people who do want to get into casting, which we do want. We do want people to come in and be.
People such as Husey, actually, from today.
Yeah, that was actually really good. He's actually a really good caster.
That was
I think
fantastic to see.
what's really impressed me about Husey is like they've only been casting like 3 or 4 games, and like it generally takes a long time to get confident and to actually get half decent at casting, and they're doing pretty great considering they're so new to it. Obviously, they have a lot to work on. We all do, but for how little they've been doing it for, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I was just, from our perspective as well, I think the games that we got to spectate today, I definitely think, unfortunately, at your disadvantaged notch, and mine being such a big Silicon supporter and Silicon staff member, we still got to see like such a good game. Like even though you guys lost, it was such a good game all the way through, and I think that was crucially important to the development of this as a scene. And like Godkiller just said in the chat, we had 85 viewers. We had 85 viewers, and we had games like those today. So what does that mean for our scene? That means we're already starting to get on track to become a bigger scene. The fact that CyberGamer matches and the bigger matches in other leagues, they tend to get, not for finals, they can tend to get up to around a K. For the live LAN finals, they can get up to 2K, 3K sort of thing. Sometimes, occasionally, I think they've actually gotten up to 10K, I think, from memory. But like for just a online finals like this, 85 is a really, really decent number for a CyberGamer finals.
Most
And
we've
Team-
had.
Yeah, and Team
Yeah.
Gun TV, like even when they come in and they're interested in, because I know that they're interested in Smite, and I've been talking to the owner, Cyanide. He wants to get in, he wants to start streaming this, and he's going to be doing a lot of the broadcasting from all of the LANs down Melbourne, Adelaide, this sort of southern portion of the country. He'll be doing a large portion of it, and Sandman. who's out of Brisbane. He's based in Brisbane. He's going to be trying to do Queensland and potentially looking, maybe potentially working with you guys in WI. I don't really know what the circumstances are, but he's definitely interested in LANs in Brisbane. So we have some very experienced broadcasters. These guys have run very much a large portion of the LAN community's broadcasting. They ran CG Live finals last year. They did both the LoL and the Counter-Strike Go tournament. They've been around Counter-Strike since Source days. They've been around Call of Duty since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, which was number 4, Call of Duty 4 days. These guys have got really big sort of backgrounds and experience in esports. And these guys, by those view numbers, they're more encouraged to step in. They're more encouraged to get involved in something like this, especially because we didn't have so many spectator issues today. And the fact that these guys are sort of going to get on board is just going to be huge. The following that these guys have, as soon as they say, hey, Smite's landed in Australia and we're a part of it, our community just suddenly blows out of proportions. It suddenly starts to become something that's potentially maybe a year and a half's time to rival that of Riot, which would be epic. That would just be that would be unbelievable. So
definitely, yeah, It's great to see the scaling of how our community is going up. Like, everything's just starting to go our way. Especially today. Today was just such a great success, and I'm still so happy from it. I had 2 Vs today just to keep me going. It was great, and I was so hyper. I was talking so, like, the fastest I've ever spoken while casting today, and that was really, really fun. But, yeah, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and thank you Rank and Machine for casting with me, and thank you Temper and Topnotch obviously for participating. I really appreciate it.
What's cool as well about Team Down TV is they've like embedded our streams and stuff like on the CyberGamer homepage, and that gets a lot of traffic because
really?
CyberGamer is. Yeah, they have before, and they probably will more so. CyberGamer it's a really popular website because it actually has a lot of games. Like the Counter-Strike thing's massive, League of Legends is massive. They have lots of different games. So, and when there is a stream linked on the homepage, or especially embedded, if it's like a big event, I don't think they've embedded it before. I think they've linked the stream on the homepage or whatever. But yeah, anyway, the point is it's a lot of traffic. So people will log on to CyberGamer and they'll see this video for Smite, and oh, cool, watch that. The issue with MOBAs, though, is it is kind of hard to get viewership from people that don't actually play the game because it's very visually unintuitive, where you can watch an FPS game and you're like, this guy has a gun, this guy shoots guy, he dies. It's easy to understand.
And you can pick it up and say, this guy has a sniper rifle, this guy has an SMG, and this guy has an LMG.
Yeah. It's very visually intuitive, where a MOBA, it's kind of confusing. It's just a bunch of pretty colors in on the screen. You don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, having said that, now the best part about Smite is that other MOBAs have sort of set the tone for it. So you can see when somebody comes in and lands a big ultimate and the casters go nuts over it, you're immediately drawn into it. You know, oh, that guy died and he was rather important because the caster said something about it. Like, that is actually our role as a caster. We have to draw the viewers, especially the viewers that know little to know about the game.
Yeah.
And that's... If we can drag those viewers in and get them interested in the game to the point where they go, oh, I have to play this game now. That's our role. If we can do that, we're doing our job right. And
you got to try and find the middle ground between giving really good analysis and insight and also sort of explaining things to newer players. I think that's something that we kind of struggle with in terms of the high-level insight because, Rank and I are quite new to Smite. Knightfall not exactly being a super pro MLG Smite player himself. So,
but what that does offer to us is that we can better, emulate sort of what's going on in the game to those lower level viewers, whether no experience whatsoever or a couple hours, whatever level. That does enable us to do that, which is the important part. I think, especially at the moment.
I noticed they do that a lot in like the World Championships and all those pro casts. They generally take a little break to sort of just explain something really basic. Like Bart will just be like, yeah, so Athena has an ultimate that allows her to jump anywhere on the map and assist her teammate. Like taking a little break every now and again and just sort of explaining something really basic might help your watchers.
Yeah, or even just explaining a champion's thematic. Yeah, just something like that. So yeah. I think that's something that we'll probably develop on as we learn within Smite, because you've got to remember that we're still getting used to this. You've actually come along such a far way already, Callum, just from viewing your very early casts. to now, and it's something that I'm now going through and I'm struggling to learn. And I got my first until I got my first cast under my belt the other weekend with you, Notch and you Knightfall, because you were back to back with me. I didn't actually have any sort of I was trying to grasp this game, and then all of a sudden I casted the game. I was just like, right, that's it, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
So
Smite will do that to you. It's one of those games that once you see it and you're like, oh, that looks like a fun game, and then you play it, and then that first game or that first cast is what makes you just go, oh my god, this is amazing, I need to keep going, I need to keep playing. And that's what I love about Smite, is it's so much fun.
Alright, I still want to talk about the CyberGamer sort of stuff a little bit more, but I want to focus it more on the players, because we've obviously really had a decent spiel here that we've given to everyone from a more of a broadcaster perspective. But Temper, I mean, you guys are currently sitting in the winners bracket final. How do you think that your play sort of went today? Because we didn't get to see that. We were spectating the upper side of the winners bracket.
We played extremely well. Our calls are on point. Our rotations are strong. I personally am slightly underperforming, and I'll quite happily say that. My ultimates I played Scylla in our match today. I missed quite a few Scylla ultimates, a bit too early, a bit too late at some points. But nah, I reckon we're really on point. Playing very strong.
Was there any exceptional calls around Fire Giant or Gold Fury that you guys think that you made that were key, maybe to engage or disengage off the particular objectives and then re-engage onto it? A team fight.
We made some excellent calls. Like if you end up watching it, we actually took like a 4-minute Gold Fury or something like that. We took a pre-10-minute Gold Fury.
Nice.
Because we went in jungle, we looked for the pick, we found the pick, and we drafted Arachne in the comp, and we just did an early Gold Fury, and from there we snowballed extremely hard. We made some good invade calls, good movement. We're feeling real good.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. From there, did you guys get to spectate any of the stream and sort of see some other teams play? Is there any points of note that you wanted to make on anything else like that?
Trident with their new players are actually performing a lot better than I expected them to. They're coming in real strong. Silicon, you guys had some moments where you were really on point. You were getting there. There was just a few little key mistakes that really just dropped down at some point. But we all make the mistakes. We all do it. We all have games where we one mistake and it snowballs out. Happens. But no, I reckon all teams are here, ready to play. Performing quite well. I did see quite a few mistakes going alongside every team. But as I said, I'd have to go and watch the replays to get a detailed analysis on that. But everyone's got room to improve, and holy hell, man. Everyone's getting better at a rate that I can barely keep up.
I think at this stage, it's less about the individual skill and the mechanics as much as it is more about the draft and the decision making. When the teams are this close, those things generally are the deciding factor.
Yeah, it's now more about how your team synergy is, how your drafting phase goes. It's exactly as you said. It's less about individual player. Like, I'm underperforming, yet my team will come back in and they'll pick me up and throw me straight back into the game. Like, it's now more about how the teams can now operate. It's now more strategic. It's objective control. It's progressing into something a lot more exciting.
Righto, and obviously now we're moving on towards you, Topnotch. You guys obviously are feeling a little bit under the weather after we actually managed to have a chat post games, and you were definitely not feeling the best after today's games. So anything you guys can work on? Did you spot anything from other teams that, where did it all go wrong for you guys? What can you improve on?
We knew going into this tournament this weekend we had a couple of kinks that we've been having a bit of trouble with at the moment. Like, we know exactly what they are. I'm not going to obviously say what they are because they're obviously a weakness that we're working on at the moment. But I mean, everyone that we versed today that we lost to kind of caught us on those weaknesses and just played on those weaknesses, and that we just ended up succumbing to those in the end. But we know exactly what we're doing wrong, and we'll be back strong as ever in the next couple of weeks.
Can I just ask, what's with the Kumbhakana solo?
Well, there's a specific reason I play Kumba solo. It's very hit or miss. I played I played 3 games of Kumbhakana today, which should never happen in a tournament. I like people need to stop playing Bakasura. Seriously, that's just a pain in
Baka's-
the ass. But I mean, like, it's really hit or miss. As you've seen in AA, it absolutely demolished. I was like 4-0-19 or something like that. And against Hetero, it just didn't work. It's just one of those things. I'm not going to obviously tell you the reasons why I pick it, because that's kind of our own little thing that we keep to
Yeah.
ourselves. But
Well, I'm assuming
yeah.
it's more for the peel because it'll give a lot of
Well,
safety to the high
that's
carries.
obviously one. That's obviously one of the merits to it, and a lot to do with like setup and things like that. But yeah, that's the
Snaring
basis of it.
Bakasura. Okay, fair enough.
You played very well
Yeah, so
today.
it's obviously something sort of niche that you kind of just today, and it just didn't come off today. So are you going to shelve that permanently, or is it something you're going to work on and keep on the side? You're not just going to shelve it permanently? What?
Oh,
any
no way.
plans for the Kumbhakana in particular?
I'm definitely not shelving it. I know it's a strong pick. I know what to do with it. I think it's just, it's something quite new that I've introduced to my team. But that's just something we got to work out and just keep playing on. But it's definitely not being shelved. No way. It's too good to
Yeah.
shelve.
So is it potentially something that you guys are going to learn from? Maybe did you pick it? I think maybe too early. How long ago did you introduce this pick to your team?
I think an issue was playing it 3 times. Like, I think people kind of saw it coming by that point. But yeah, I don't know. I think for now we're gonna just focus on things that are actually good, and stop trying to play, all these what's the word for it? All these like dodgy, wanky things.
Gimmicky.
But I mean, yeah, well, it's not essentially gimmicky, but I mean that I guess to a degree it's kind of janky and only works sometimes.
But in your defense, Bakasura right now is absolutely stupid.
Absolutely,
There's no counter
way.
matchup that
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
stomps Baka out. I reckon until Bologna is introduced into main game,
Yeah.
Baka's just going to remain the top tier solo laner. He's just
correct.
too crazy.
That's
How
exactly.
else can you
like,
counter Bakasura? Is there any
the
other
only-
picks that would?
Well, the only thing you can really do with Bakasura is not die to Bakasura.
Yeah,
That's
like
the,
run.
Like an
yeah,
Aphrodite?
Exactly. Well, yeah, not really.
No.
Aphro will still get killed by Bakasura every time.
Yeah, it's Baka matchup is all about surviving, which is
Yeah.
I would assume one of the things behind. Like the Kumba pick in essence was really smart. Like you can mez Baka out of almost all his DPS.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, he does have that CC immunity in the start, so timing, matchup, everything. I can see it. But I'm assuming you're still Fury crafting a bit around it, and it was great.
Yeah, it's
But
to a
Baka's
degree,
just insane. Baka's just crazy. Like,
Exactly. Bakasura is just like Bologna needs to be in competitive play essentially
Yeah.
to do with Bologna. But then people are just going to ban Bologna and play Bakasura.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
Or- yeah, Bologna's OP right now. She
I
needs
think
nerfs.
I think now that disarm is a CC in the game, it needs to be implemented more and more, and things like Bakasura will stop being so dominant.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Like an
seeing.
active item that disarms. That'd be interesting.
Or not even that, just maybe even more gods that have the disarm CC. It's such a nice CC, I think. Yeah, like considering how strong hunters are as well in the game, and things that are auto attack based, I think disarm is just a nice kind of counterplay CC to have amongst like your picks and bans and things like that. Like incorporating like a god that has disarm into your lineup is quite strong.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to see. I'd like to see it like tied to some, like I'd like to see it personally tied to an ultimate. So like a
Yeah.
big like AOE
Ooh.
zone of like you don't
This-
AA here. So that'd be
This
really cool.
this is kind of working creepily towards maybe Medusa. Could you imagine if her ultimate, instead of being turned to stone, was a disarm everyone she was looking at in a certain range,
I'm
Ouch.
nervous already. I don't
turns
want
weapons to
that to
stone?
happen.
That'd be pretty crazy. But the thing is, that kind of CC, they have to be very careful in implementing. Like, look, Bologna's in it. She's broken. She's broken as hell right now. So it's one of those things that it directly hard counters all. It hard counters assassins and hunters. So they've got to be really careful with it. But I agree. I'd like to see more of it. But yeah, it's
Maybe
pretty
potentially
crazy, man.
smaller duration or other forms of interaction somewhere within champion kit, hero kit, god kits. I just screwed that up 3 times. Oh my god.
You got there in the end.
Yep.
So would you like to see some more interaction? That's what you guys are basically saying. Is that just the one disarm ability is too much, and potentially adding one to another ultimate in the near future would probably be too much as well?
I think a lot of right. Sorry, Temper. Go ahead.
It really depends. Like it's all about how it synergizes with the rest of the kit. The thing with Bologna is that she has ridiculous lifesteal, movement speed, defenses, crazy damage, mobility, stun, everything you could possibly ever want in a kit, and then the disarm on top of that is insane. But I reckon if utilized in a correct way in a kit that doesn't have as much utility, so it actually is more directly counterpick focused, I reckon that's what I'd like to see. I'd like the disarm slightly lowered on Bologna and her life still reduced, and then I reckon she'll be fine.
Yeah, just a couple more tweaks can put her. She's still extreme top tier. Just a couple tweaks can put her right.
Yeah, she's going to be S tier for sure, or A, or at least A plus tier, I reckon.
I don't know.
She just needs to be brought
Topnotch.
down a
Where does
little
she
bit.
rank on the top-notch tier guy that is totally not focused on specifically what you pick and play?
Well, yeah. On a serious note, I personally don't think she's as broken as what people are, currently raving about right now. I think a lot of people are afraid to beads disarm, which is a mistake. Like, as much as it sucks, you do need to be beadsing things like disarm because it renders you useless on specific odds for 3 seconds, which is crazy. But I mean, in like the solo lane matchup, I think people saying that she's OP and just broken is kind of incorrect. There's just certain ways you have to fight her. Like mages demolish her.
Yeah.
Like she can't do anything against mages, and people are playing Barkasura in solo lane casual and being like, oh my god, she's so broken, I can't do anything.
Half the problem is blind pick.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I will agree with you right there. She's not okay. I know I said she was broken before, but I do actually completely agree with you. She's not broken, but I reckon she just has just a little too much.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
she's got
agree
too
with
many
that.
things.
She's very good at her like specific purpose, but on top of that, she can just do everything else right now.
Yep. Like solo FG with a bit of lifesteal.
Yeah, exactly. That's
all day
stupid.
long. It's
That
like,
shouldn't
what?
be possible.
No, get out of here. Get out of here, Bologna, before you give us another saying, Silicon Invicta. What?
That's
That was
definitely
so
not
much
where
fun.
we stole that from.
No, not at all. Okay. All right. Moving on before we give away any more ideas. The TeamSpeak server, the community TeamSpeak server. I actually got contacted earlier in the week by a good friend of mine who happened to be a part of an old LoL community I was a part of. The community had fallen apart, and the TeamSpeak server was still active, and he was looking for somebody for any groups in general that were interested in a TeamSpeak server. And I said, well, hey, let's bring in Smite Oceania. And you guys seem to have taken off on this rather well. In fact, we were planning on having hangouts in the TeamSpeak during the cast today, but we kind of got like games were just like bam, 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 bam. It was really good. That was really good, actually.
Yeah.
Getting the games to flow on like that. But we're probably gonna have a hangout immediately after the show, in the TeamSpeak as well. But you guys have taken up on it, and for you two, Notch and Temper, what do you guys enjoy the idea of having maybe a communal hangout spot? You guys can organize scrims better potentially.
I think it's really nice having like the communal room and also like the team specific rooms. Like it kind of sucks that all the team rooms are locked. Like obviously the team rooms have to be locked, otherwise people would just troll in them. But I mean like having the communal room where everyone can just jump in there, hang out with each other. Maybe organize scrims, talk about playing casually together, things like that. It's just a really nice idea and bringing the community closer.
Definitely.
And I mean, we actually used it for casting today as well, which is Husey just brought up, because you can control specific. I mean, you can do it with Curse obviously as well, but you can control specific volumes on people without an overlay coming through. That's kind of crucial for us, isn't it, Callum?
Well, I've only ever just really used Curse, and that also has a slider. So for me
Yeah.
personally, I don't think it's really that beneficial, but I definitely can see why it'd be beneficial from teams and players. People are a lot nicer, like, through voice. No one's gonna be toxic or BM, but like on the anonymity of the internet, so I think it's just a more friendlier way for people to hang out and stuff. And also, like, it's a lot more social, because then you're actually talking to a real person, not just a bunch of text on the screen.
Definitely, yeah. I remember today we had an exceptionally interesting encounter within the TeamSpeak. There was one guy named Serenade You, What he
Oh,
did
man.
was
This is great. This is before anything happened. Like there was 5 of us on, I think, including this other guy, and it was just fun.
we just sat in the channel, and what he did was he played his piano, I think it was, through the TeamSpeak. And like he didn't talk, he didn't say anything. He just decided to sit there and play his piano. It wasn't annoying or anything. It was like it was pretty awesome. And that's what I like.
Those sort of interactions can happen with a more communal space as well.
Definitely.
Like the Facebook page, Reddit's all great and all nice and whatnot, but you can't attach any voice to it without recording and then uploading, and then which is a little bit of pain in the ass sometimes. But just a space like this, like you said, it's just so easy to contact people. You can see who's online, you know, without even having to log on. You can go, oh, maybe I don't feel like playing today. I'll see who's online. Oh, this guy's online. I'm really keen to play with him. He's looking for group. Because there is a looking for group room, I'll after the show's done, I'll actually stick a looking for scrim room in as well, which you guys can just hang out in. Just poke people. For anyone who wants a team room, don't hesitate to contact me. It's as simple as finding me when I'm on. I'll go, oh, hey, yeah, let's set it up, get you in the room. I'll set you as a channel admin, and then you guys totally control when there's a password, what your team group name is, what you want as the description for the text. You know, if you want to leave each other notes further on down in that, you can do that. You know, that's all welcome for you guys to adjust. And everyone is welcome, regardless of who it is. If there are any problems, we will immediately look at removing people from that, obviously. Recipe and Genesis are kind enough to be the mods on there, and they're on pretty damn regularly, I have to say. I'm pretty sure there's one of us on, like, 24/7, so... Yeah.
It's pretty well laid out. There's like different rooms for everything.
Yeah, it's just a great hub for everyone to jump into.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I'm also a server admin, so if you do ask me, do the same as what you would if I'm on and Rankonius is not. I can also help you guys out there.
Yeah. Awesome. All good. All right. I think my fiance is actually just going to go shopping. You going shopping, gorgeous? Maybe. Okay. I just needed to check in with her, so that
Good
was
man.
I enjoyed
that was
it.
relevant.
Anyways,
Wave. Come back and wave at the podcast, gorgeous. Don't worry. It's actually our anniversary today, and I spent all day shoutcasting, and now
Nice.
oh,
I kind of need to send a big thank you out to her. And she took me out for dinner the other night, so
that's nice.
I'm a little bit dumped after this weekend. I think. All right, moving along before I get shot. Knightfall, we got together and we had a ton of fun on yesterday afternoon writing up a preview article, which we'll be doing again next week at some point. This was a ton of fun to write, actually. I need to grab the link for it. I know where it is. It's on the Silicon Sports site. See, she's
Aw.
cute.
That was gorgeous. I liked that. That was so sweet.
Man. Alright, now I'm embarrassed. I said I was going to embarrass her on stream today, and I didn't do it. So, she got me.
Are we grabbing the link?
Have you got the link? Because, like,
I don't have the link. I'm a terrible person. One moment
Okay.
while I scroll through the group and grab the link.
I got
but-
it. I got it.
You got it?
I'm
Okay.
going to beat you. Okay.
So what we did was we went and you basically
This is actually really
interviewed me.
really fun to write because
Yeah.
we sat in a Google Doc and we just like sat on TeamSpeak as well. This was a really nice use of the TeamSpeak as well. And we were just like, "Yo, what do you think on this?" And then passed it back and forth, and it was just fun to write.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What were your thoughts on writing it? Knightfall? Was it fun to be interviewed?
It
Or
was
kinda?
it was strange. I've never had an interview like this before. It was great. It was like my first official interview. I just felt real special. But yeah, it was kind of difficult for me to make decisions on predictions and things because everyone was like they had subs and things, so it was basically down to synergy, as I said in the article. But yeah, it was extremely difficult, but I enjoyed it very much.
I think we actually proved you wrong. I think in the end you picked... I made you make a decision on who to pick, and you
Yeah.
picked Incite versus Silicon in the winners bracket, damn it, Topnotch. And Trident versus Anti-Alias for losers round 3 in the losers bracket. And yeah, Hatyroi are in, which you didn't even mention up there. Anti-Alias didn't make it, and Silicon made it, but you... Silicon didn't make it, but you listed them, so... We already know how trustworthy Knightfall is.
I shouldn't get into fortune telling. I'll stick to my day job.
I know,
which
you
I don't
guys
even have a job.
Temperwolf.
How do we pronounce Heteroi? Heteroi?
Apparently
Heteroids.
I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've I don't know. I just call him the hetero.
Last night, I watched the Jabalonke.
Shibalonke.
Yeah, I forgot it already. I was gonna say I watched it so I could like listen to how it was actually pronounced. It's like Jabalonke, something like that.
Shibalanke.
Xbalonkui.
Anyway.
Can we call it that? I'm actually going to start calling it Exbolonki.
Nah, always be X-baller for me, man. X-baller.
Exballer.
Xballer.
I'm also
That's
cool
actually
with
not
that.
a bad name. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
In before somebody makes a swag video of Xbal. Oh god.
No, mate, Swagny all the way.
Swagny.
So obviously with Bologna just being moving along slightly. Sorry, I should have said that. Obviously with Bologna just being released, we also got our first look at Medusa on Twitter. Thank you to Smite Advisor for the photo. And it looked like it was just an original mock-up, and it kind of looks like she might be heading in the direction of a hunter.
Yes.
Which is very different to how you see Medusa-like characters in other games such as League of Legends, where you have Cassiopeia, where she's kind of...
Dota. Oh, is she a mage in Dota, or is she like a carry?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I'm pretty sure she's a carry in Dota.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm coming...
She has a bow.
Alright. I
Yeah.
like this idea. Okay.
Cool. Anyways.
So, what do you guys, between Notch and Temperwolf, think, obviously, of coming forth with the pictures on Medusa?
I'm trying to just find them real
I'm
quick.
sick of hunters, dude.
Yeah. I feel like we just got a new one. Like Ho Yi just came out. Like what? Like
But Ho Yi's
less than a
crap.
month. Yeah, like exactly. Like less than a month ago, we got Ho Yi, who wasn't even that amazing. Like he's all right, but he's not like great. So
Which is like...
Give
I
me,
don't know.
just give me a new CC bot, please. That's all I want.
I don't know.
In before plays Ymir solo.
I do play a bit solo. That's actually one of the things I used to be really popular for.
Damn.
I think the ADC meta it's a bit bland at the moment. It was kind of the problem with season 1. It was like the top 3 Ram, Apollo, Anher, and then they changed the way clear works, and now it's like the exact same thing. Apart from now, it's instead Xbal, Cupid, and Artemis. Like, I mean, adding in new ADCs is good, but they definitely need to change the way the ADCs work because there's 8 ADCs and you only really see 4 of them.
But
Yeah.
no matter how you do it, like that's still gonna happen. Like with Smite,
Yeah.
it's very prone to cookie cutter, and that's pretty much how it's like. There's no real way to balance that because people are always going to look at the itemization, all that kind of stuff, and they're going to go, okay, this works best for maximum damage. And they do that with maybe a touch of utility on the side. And in terms of like what hunters are top and what hunters are not, it does slightly sway around every now and again, but I don't quite see, like they could maybe rebuff, so like the hunters that were nerfed into the ground, maybe slightly rebuff them, like just give them a little bit more clear potential, but it's a very touchy thing because if they touch something, they can either you'll never see them again or they'll be OP. Like it's really
Yeah.
finicky with it.
Balancing is extremely difficult in Smite, but Hi-Rez have done a great job of it. But it's basically like trying to balance 2 stones on each other that are perfectly spherical. It's extremely difficult, but they're doing their best.
Yep.
Nice metaphor.
You're welcome.
That was... It was really well done.
Yeah.
Nice Geb reference.
In an ideal world, you want like each pick for a certain reason. Say, for example, Hu Yi for a wombo, or Apollo for split pushing, or like Artemis for late game. Like, ideally, you want to have every single god picked for a specific reason, specific purpose, but eventually there's kind of role overlap where it's like if you want good late game, you have either Xbal or Artemis. They're both good late game, so it's not as clear as that.
Can I just say, I just said you're welcome when I should have said thank you. I feel like a little bit
Okay.
that was
That's
a little
the most
bit of a
pressing
dickish move.
Well done.
My bad. I do apologize. Thank you very much for
Dude, English
appreciating.
is so hard.
I know,
We
right?
apologize, viewers. We will put Knightfall's verbal leash back on, and we'll allow him back out of his cage
Oh,
only during the day from now on.
I'll just mute my mic and sit here for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that was Medusa.
Yeah.
Knightfall. Time to move on to some team stuff.
Team stuff. I love team stuff.
You love team stuff. This is your team thing. We have a new team on the block.
Do we? Which one is that? Would you like to mention, or shall I mention?
You're the team guy.
I'm the team guy?
You're the CyberGamer admin. You do all the team stuff. You're into the management and stuff, so.
It's so difficult. So we do have Team Illustrius 5. So they're made up of PTFO, Titty Sprinkles, great name by the way, Omazi, Crazy Aussie, and A to Z.
It's a really, really strong team. I've actually scrimmed this team a couple of times now, and this team is going to be easily top 5 in my opinion.
Yeah, I see these guys in casuals, and they're actually really great players. And we did cast them the other day. Actually, the VOD is on the group. You can actually go and see it. And they play. Unfortunately, they did lose, but it was extremely close. Like, these guys just came out of casual queues and competitive queues, and they just formed a team. So now all they have to do is create that synergy, and they're just going to be, like you said, a top 5 team.
Mm. It's actually the second time that this team has been formed.
Really?
Yeah, they made a team. It would have been a couple of months ago called I5. Can't remember the full roster. There's a few different members. It seems that they've now actually finally found members to make a team, and now they've come out again. A lot of skill, a lot of potential. Keen to see them in the scene. I haven't personally scrimmed them yet, so I don't know. I can't compliment on their team play, but I definitely see potential.
Yeah, it's great to see new teams coming up as well.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's just the expanding of the scene, and it means that the player base is getting wider. When you see more teams, you know that there's more players that have come together. You know that there's at least 5 more, but for those 5 more, how many more we're hanging around out there going, yeah, maybe, and haven't quite done it yet, which is kind of good.
Especially since a lot of teams are disbanding, it's nice to see new teams take their spots.
Yeah, it's basically on an increase, but there is it's called the bathtub effect. Basically, imagine a bathtub where you've got the taps on, but the plug is also open. So like new teams are coming in, but also other teams are coming out. But it's filling. It's filling.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the important part.
I'm pulling out the great metaphors today. I feel really special.
Man, you're on point. You're gonna make a great shoutcaster with all these metaphors. I love it.
Thanks, man.
We got metaphors, we got puns from rank. That's all we need.
Callum,
Oh, yes.
what are you
What
here
can I be
for?
known for? I don't know.
Machinage.
I'm not contributing.
You come
His
up with
presence.
super cool
I'm anchoring the
logos.
team.
Stream. You're on stream stuff. You can be the super cool camera control guy.
And he's got a really nice mic, so his voice sounds really
Yeah, he's got a
great.
sexy mic.
Thank you. This is your captain speaking.
Unfortunately, with the tournament as well today, Knightfall, there is another team that is unfortunately disbanded.
That was Knights of Honor. Sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank. I read it and then I immediately forgot what it was. It is Knights of Honor. They did unfortunately disband. They were supposed to play today, and that was against Incite there, but they didn't turn up, and then unfortunately they did disband afterwards. So really unfortunate, but again, it goes back to teams are disbanding, but then they're also coming back in the form of new teams such as Illustrius 5.
Alrighty, well, there was, where did this one actually come from? This is a 2v2 letter. There was some thoughts and some bouncing around as expressions of interest, and I believe somebody was actually starting a 2v2 letter entry form somewhere floating around as well. Where did this one come from?
A guy called Little Caprice wanted to make one, and then he ended up getting in touch with one of the CyberGamer admins, and I don't know what they've quite agreed on or whatever, but they were thinking about actually having it as part of CyberGamer.
Topnotch, would you take
Yeah,
part?
what's up, Topnotch? What's going on? He's dying.
Okay.
Oh, Little Caprice. Yeah, the name is that why it's funny?
No,
He's
no,
gone.
no,
No?
not that.
What's up, man?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's done. Just carry on.
No.
It's something in the chat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Just carry on.
Damn it.
I need to read through again.
No! Our chat's going off. Thank you, chat. Thank you for going off and making Topnotch lose focus. Anyway, Temperwolf, do you have
Yes,
a duo
sir.
partner that you would take part in a 2v2 tournament in? with?
I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. Like, I queue with anyone that happens to be online at the time, so...
Would you have a crack at something like this with somebody, though? Like a 2v2 tournament?
Yeah, like, I'd just do it for a bit of fun, a bit of laughs. Could be interesting. But my schedule's a bit here and there for other things, so I'd have to figure out what date it was, see if I was free for it. But if I was, I'll most definitely participate. I'll rope someone into coming with me.
Machine, I could totally see you queuing up with Archon Hawk.
I don't think we'll have much success, but sure.
Just play Kali Aphrodite. You'll carry yourselves.
I think a 2v2 tournament's fun. I don't know if a ladder is quite worth it though. There's sort of those fun game modes, every now and again it's cool, but consistently playing a mode like 2v2, I think people would lose interest. And that's what they were discussing is a ladder for 2v2. I don't really know if that's a good idea. I think I'd rather see an arena ladder because that actually has replayability. Like how many 2v2s can you play after a while and then you kind of get bored? And that's my opinion.
Okay. That's an interesting input. All right. Well, the King of Salt, I'm sure we'll find a salty enough partner. You could...
Me and King Crackle. Every day.
No, I was going to say, why don't you team up with God Killage? The salt and the no salt zone combining together.
He's like a perma ban on me because he doesn't like salt, though. I'm not allowed to watch his stream, but he lives in my stream.
Okay. And he apparently carries the salt-free zone everywhere. Does that
That's
apply?
right. That's what I mean. Like, I can't exist if God Killage is around.
All right.
I was thinking. Oh, actually, no. We'll get onto that later. Ignore me. It's later on in the cast.
Oh yes, it is. I know exactly what you're talking about. We were discussing some fun things today. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. Smite Pro League Fantasy League. So this is obviously based off the SPL in North America and Europe. ESL Gaming have run some really nice, fun fantasy leagues in the past. And this is going to be one focused purely on Smite. So you can pick your favorite players, whether that's Ataraxia, whichever the hell player on COG Prime you want to play as, whichever the hell player on COG Red, whichever the hell player on TSM, whichever, pick your favorite players, put them in, and compete against your friends in up to 8 teams. Up to 8 people can pick their favorite players and compete against each other in fantasy leagues each week. Boys, who's going to be my first victim? Who am I taking on first?
Did you
who am I
register?
gonna-
Who you gonna
I'm going
pick?
to register. Let's run a podcast one. You guys are all going down.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
Yeah, let's actually do this.
It's a great
I mean,
idea.
I think
How does it actually work? Like how the teams fight?
it's basically.
sure.
Do you know the League of Legends one?
No, I've never
No.
listened to it.
Okay, so you have a team, right? Your team.
Yep.
And you have a draft of all the players in the SPL, EU, and NA, and you can pick
Yep.
whatever role. I think you have 2
Yeah,
from
I
the same
get that,
role.
but
Yeah.
how do you actually fight?
So then
Like, what happens?
So you pick your team, right? Say you've got a completed draft. There's you and 7 other people.
Yep.
And basically you gain points each week based on based on each player in your team's performance in that week. And then you compare your points to the other people in your draft.
Oh, okay. So it's
yeah.
not like you actually have like a game with your fantasy
No.
team against each other.
No.
Okay,
No.
right.
Yeah.
Because that would just be impossible.
It's
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like there'd be some sort of simulation or something, like, or just no game. It just sort of has a theoretical, calculated result or something.
we can
God
actually
Killage has already come up with his fantasy draft of
Zapman.
Zapman. Finally, in the duo lane, we're going to have Zapman supporting Zapman.
1v5. He's got this.
He's got
Oh
he's doing
my.
it, man.
That man could do it though, I believe. Actually, we could set up that podcast
So could.
league
Who else should we invite?
after this. Everyone.
After this.
Oh,
Alright.
there's only 8.
We might record it.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes.
Because I'm just going to go through and go, I don't know who you are. I'm picking you.
I want Ataraxia on my team because he's a beast.
Screw you. Atarax is the only player I know. All right. But yeah, that's something fun. So get a group of your friends together. socially on a Friday night and, set up your draft. Maybe you can even use the TeamSpeak. Maybe I'll set up a channel for it if you guys want that. If there is the demand for it, there will be set up. And yeah, have a bunch of fun. We might even set up a Facebook group for each week. You can post your points or how you went each week, and we might even have a mini prize. I think that'd be pretty cool. The best fantasy team each week in a Facebook competition. I think that'd actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love stuff.
I love stuff too. Stuff is fun. All right.
Stuff is amazing.
This is something that you're heavily excited for, Knightfall. It's been a lot about me and you talking about stuff this week. I feel bad. I feel very up myself, and I hate that.
What?
Because we've been done a lot of the talking.
It's
I want to
alright.
give other people the room to talk. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
it's
t-shirts. You have come up with the fantastic idea of let's run a DeOCEide podcast t-shirt print, including a bunch of things from the Smite god himself, a Smite Salt god himself.
Yes, I have a few ideas.
Topnotch, all the way through God Killage, and you even come up with a Pun Master rank shirt design idea.
Yes. So basically what this t-shirt thing is gonna be is I want some ideas from you guys. I already have about 6 or 7 ideas noted down. Things that we could put on t-shirts and then sell to you guys, part of the community. Of course, this is all voluntary. I just want to point out that all of us at CyberGamer and Rankonius and TheMachine and all of us that organize things, this is all voluntary. This is just time out of our week that we put into this community, and we do it out of love for you guys. And I just thanks very much, guys, for sticking around. Also,
you were going somewhere with that?
yes. So what I want to do is create t-shirts for everyone. And something else I want to point out is what we're going to do is we're going to have $5 from each t-shirt purchased we're going to give to charity.
Ooh.
Yes. So the charity that we do want to give it to is the Children's Hospital of Australia Foundations, I think. No, hang on. It's a confusing title. Children's Hospital Foundations of Australia. So basically, what they do is they fund medical research, medical what's the word? I don't want to say tools.
Assistance.
Assistance, infrastructure, equipment for hospitals around Australia. In all the states, it's Queensland. They researched respiratory research funding, oscillator for an intensive care unit, lots of other stuff, and in just all around Australia, they are helping out children in need of medical care. So we are going to donate $5 for every t-shirt sold straight to that charity.
And the major take-home message here from this is we're not going to make any money out of these whatsoever. This is just something we're putting together for the hell of it, for a bit of fun. And if we do raise money, it all goes to somebody else. That's the important part.
It's not for profit at all.
Nice.
So yeah, there is a markup on the shirts, but that markup will instead go to charity. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're looking between $20 $25 ish.
That's a decent price for a shirt. So I think Topnotch is going to be salt. God Killage was going to have one with salt-free zone. We're going to make up one with Ra on the back and on the front, something like puns of damage or something on the back. Bright idea, and then a picture of Ra. A bunch of
Your face
stuff
on it?
like this. I can put my face on it. Just for
And
you.
one that I'm very proud of is it's going to be Guan Yu in the background, right? Just silhouetted. Yeah. And then on the front it says, "You mad bro," spelled Y-U, as in Guan Yu's last name.
Oh! I love it.
The pun!
Oh, man.
Nightfall.
Knightfall. He gets it. He gets it. Maybe we could even have a Temperwolf one. You can have like a Fenrir on the front, Temperwolf.
That'd be
It's not the
awesome.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
that'd
he
be
can
cool.
be made out of chocolate, so then he's the tempered chocolate wolf.
Oh my god.
Yes! With Easter coming up, it needs to be made. Guys, get on that. Somebody design that stuff.
Oh wow. That's
I think it's a cool
that's what
idea,
I've
though.
heard before.
Like what I think would be a good idea is do like a 1 day tournament, and like every team has like a $20-50 buy-in, and then X amount of that prize pool goes towards a charity, and like the winning team gets to decide what charity, something like that. I think it'd be a fun way of getting teams to compete, and even if the teams, they're that mid-tier sort of level of teams where they know they're not going to win. But they can still have fun, and not only are they having fun in the tournament, it's also going to be for a good cause.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
that
then we could
can-
get like Temperwolf, Notch, maybe Switch Bay, maybe just somebody else from like all the teams that we disinclude from it, somebody from the Heteroi, and just get them all into casted as well. So it's all of the major teams taking a step back, letting somebody else say, hey, you can win it, and then at the same time you can cast, maybe give some coaching tips to those smaller teams at the same time, like you guys Temper are doing with Heteroi. Just all these sorts of fun things.
Yeah, and those things are quite easy. Like with games and all that, like people that do ask me for a little bit of coaching, I give it out every now and again. And it's good fun.
Yeah.
I reckon that'd be a really cool idea if we could just get a bit. I reckon maybe a little bit more publicity for most teams, but a lower level team where you get, as I said, as you said, members from top teams, casting, analyzing with a bit of coaching on top. That'd be really cool. That's an awesome idea.
And the best thing is that everyone's having fun, and then we're raising money for charity. Like, it's a win for everyone. Like, no one is losing anything.
Especially it can help publicity, because then if we do get X amount, then then we can do a write up about it, and then it'll make the scene look cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
But
we're all in support of a charity, which is, I think, like, what I got into gaming for was to give my time to somebody else. Like, that's what I wanted to... Well, initially, when I started casting, I was all in it for myself, and then I turned around and went, no, I don't want to do that. I want to give back to somebody, and that's what led me to management, actually. So... And
Nice.
I'd really like to do something like that to give back to a team, give back to, a team of people that are helping other people even better.
Someone
Did
just...
you think?
Hang on. Did anyone see that in chat? Someone's...
I've seen that.
Nightfall's Bay. Okay. Thanks. That's actually not me, by the
wow.
way. That's actually quite
Wow.
flattering. Thank you.
Sure,
Actually,
are you sure that's
I
your old account?
swear to God, it's not mine. Look,
is a
look,
good
I'm on
point.
Nightfall on my thingy. Look, hi. Look,
I
He's
don't
on
believe
Smite
you.
OC, I promise you.
hang on.
You
where
just
it-
look. You said I was gonna say hi, and you so sexy, smiley
No.
face come
Look,
up.
I'll say hi. Look, look. Oh,
I'm
frick.
waiting.
Look.
He's trying to
okay.
log back in.
No. Look. This is me typing. Look. It's not me. But whoever that is, thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, all
So-
right, it's confirmed. He can't.
Just something I want to mention as well. Someone did point out in the chat is that going to be causing legal issues if you have like a high res like logo, like you have a picture of one you want a shirt.
Copyright and things.
Yeah.
I did message the community manager, Garrett Martini, the other day regarding that, but he is at PAX, so we are going to get confirmation of that if we do want to use the logo, things like that. But so far we do have the VVGL on the front and the VVGG completed with no copyright. It's just a bit of it's just text so far. But the copyright thing, we will get sorted eventually.
Even if that means that we have to go through high res, we'll make sure that if they're done through high res, we'll ensure that we make sure that whatever we do with anyone, that the proceeds are going to charity is the important part.
Yes,
Yeah, that's probably
definitely.
what they'll ask, because they wouldn't be happy with you like making money off of their IP. But if it's like for something, especially then, like maybe they could make a post about it, like of the shirt store or something when it's done. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah. And it would be great to see community members wearing shirts like
Yeah, that'd be cool.
our shirts. That'd be so great.
Like there's RF LAN coming up. Actually, this is something we can probably talk about in a second.
I
Is-
just got
is
a
LAN's
call
coming
from
up.
my work. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, all good.
No worries.
RF LAN is actually coming up in Perth, Topnotch, which you're going to, and you're taking Maxon along with you.
Mason.
Mason. My bad. Mason and Notch are going along to RF LAN, and they're going to be there. I'm sending actually some energy drink over with our thanks to our sponsors, Verve. So they're going to be going to that. There will be some Smite tournaments held there, but if you want to catch up and meet up with those guys, they'll obviously be over there. That's April 11th, starting at, I believe it was 10:30 a.m. I think I saw the other day, and going through till April the 12th. And if you are actually in Melbourne, myself and Switchbay will be meeting up and doing some shoutcasting at Respawn LAN, which will be held on the 27th to the 28th of March from 10 a.m. on the 28th and 29th of March, from 10 a.m. on the 28th of March all the way through to midday on the 29th of March. There'll be a Smite tournament. It's looking at this stage like that one's going to be a 3v3 tournament. So if you and your two best mates want to come down and have a crack, bring your computers, there's only 220 slots for the Melbourne Respawn LAN. So make sure you get in quick. That's a really small one. It's actually going to be held at Armit, I believe, in the middle of the city. So if you're able to get on a train, get on a bike with your computer in your backpack and not ruin it, and get it in there, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a huge amount of fun. Topnotch, you're so keen for this one over in Perth.
Absolutely. I think me, Mason, and Snake Squared, our boy, are gonna dominate that 3v3 tourney.
Nice. So someone said, when am I coming over? What do you mean by that? Do you mean going to Australia?
I think he's talking about coming to his specific house.
Oh.
I think he's coming on to you.
This should be held elsewhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's true.
Keep your
I have no idea who this is.
off your keyboard and stop typing about yourself going over to your place and chat.
I'm looking at the viewer list. Oh my god. But yeah, I'd really love to go to Australia. Again, I've been before, and it's such a nice place. Going to Melbourne is a great place. But what I really want to go to is PAX this year. Like,
Oh yeah.
you would not believe the amount of how much I want to go. Like, oh my gosh. It's going to be so exciting at PAX. Because that would be amazing. And I'm going to book my ticket soon. And probably flights also.
He's staying at my place if he can't get anywhere in the city. I will make sure that he comes.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah,
There you
we should be alright. We'll all have great fun at PAX. Yeah.
And I think about the last thing that we sort of got to, because I was going to hold the land stuff off, and then if we got time to it. I have a bit of news. I got contacted this week, and I'm joining Team Immunity. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
Nice.
Whoa. That's actually huge, man. Like, I
couldn't
know
believe it.
you told me through the week, but that's actually pretty amazing.
And
Like-
Team Immunity are really, really keen in Smite too. Obviously with my ties to Smite, so that's going to be kind of cool. And Callum's back. Hi, Callum.
Sorry,
So
I
good.
wouldn't normally answer my phone, but that does work. I hope I didn't miss chat about RFLAN. I heard RFLAN and I was like,
Oh,
What?
yeah. RF
Oh,
lands
wow.
on the 11th to the 12th of April. What else did you have to say about RF LAN?
oh, dude, I'm looking forward to it. I've been doing the League of Legends stream there for like the past probably 10 events. And then this time I'm like, no, I'm done with League of Legends. I'm so over that game. We're doing Smite. So I'm looking forward to it. As I was sort of saying Topnotch earlier, though, I'm a little bit concerned about the numbers. That they haven't quite organized it and advertised it very well. Like RFLAN, I mean. But I think if they stick with it and they keep doing it, all of these land events, I guess, so long as it's a consistent thing, not just like a one-off thing, then I think we'll start getting numbers. It's going to be a bit interesting, though, because they're LAN events and all of the teams are split up amongst the states. So there isn't going to be any of the normal teams. But I also think there's going to be a bit of a skill gap between Topnotch and Freemason and everyone else. Like people that don't actually play competitively, people that just play arena and stuff.
All right, so you have
So-
to play Kumbhakan. We're
Yeah.
forcing you to play Kumbhakan.
I think we're going to have to also sort of work out what format's going to work, because I'll probably be helping them to run it. Is like, you know, you immediately hear Smite tournament and you think Conquest, but like realistically, if there's only like 20 people and like most of them don't play competitive, then doing just a fun joust or arena tournament might be better off, just because it means that you can just have more games and it's not as cutthroat. People can just have more fun with it.
Yeah. Temperwolf, where do you live, potentially?
I'm in Canberra.
Okay, so
So-
you're a little bit out of the way for getting to some of these major lands.
Oh yeah, a fair way out.
Okay.
I know.
Do you have any plans to potentially get to one in the near future? Potentially see Team Incite at a LAN?
I don't know, man. That would take a lot of planning, a lot of sorting stuff out because I know like me and Subfloor in Canberra, and the other three are in Miller. I don't know. They're in Miller. God knows where.
I guess that's your issue is when you're not part of an organization, because a lot of time if it's a big event, the organization will pay for flights and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have the money to pay for flights if I so needed to, but it's more about getting time off work where I need to. Because I work Monday to Friday, so just normal. But yeah, no, once I actually get all this sorted out and what's going down, you'll probably see me going to these kinds of things. Maybe just not in the near future. I've got a lot of things on.
Oh god, Switchbait is about to come out with a pun.
How many roundabouts are in Canberra?
Oh,
God,
please.
here we go.
He
All
does
of
this
the
every time,
roundabouts.
dude.
I haven't heard this. I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Let's hear the punchline. Come on, Switch Bay.
Damn it,
It's-
Switchbait.
Why are we
It's-
feeding him attention?
Yeah, true. That's probably exactly what he wants.
That's a okay. Let's not
is
read
gonna
it
be
out.
good. No, I'm reading it out. Oh man, Knightfall, do you live in Christchurch?
I do indeed.
There you go.
That little place where we had like 5.
I just
major
heard you typing
earthquakes.
like half a second ago.
Me?
Yeah.
I was dying of laughter at what
Yeah.
somebody. That wasn't me typing. I was actually like suffocating. It was pretty
No,
bad.
like just before that post went out. Knightfall, do you live in Christ? I swear I heard you typing to yourself.
Oh, I said, please no, when God Killage said, I feel like timing out Nightfall's Bay.
Okay, so apparently it's not a joke.
No, it is. It's because Canberra has an ass load of roundabouts. Like, it's like the guy that designed Canberra, like, had, like, a drink or something, and he kept putting it on the plans, and it makes, like, a ring of water. So he probably just did that like 20 times and just went, oh, hell, just roundabout, no, roundabout here. It's just a Canberra joke. It's really lame.
Well, at least
Like-
you're not from Tasmania. Let's not mention what happens down there.
Now I'm curious as to what happens.
No, we're not discussing on that. Is not a podcast question.
Oh,
So,
We're at
Okay.
that stage, ladies and gentlemen, where it is time to take questions from the chat. If you have a question, maybe
only
you want to
appropriate
ask
ones, please, Reno.
the King of Salt, how long did it take to do his hair?
please. This stuff
How long
doesn't
did-
just happen overnight.
That's something we didn't note, is that this is the first time that your hair has been on the podcast. Guys, look at that
what,
gorgeous
big
head of hair.
Blonde Notch. I'm changing my name in game to Blonde Notch.
Oh no.
Oh, my God.
No, top blonde, top blonde.
No, Blonde Notch, boys.
No, I want to see because you're Australia's next top blonde.
Oh, my God. Please.
Got to,
got a
at least I'm
question.
top something.
Yep.
So Ochida has a question for Nightfall. How do you pronounce Hitairoi? Actually, I used to say Hitairoi until I saw the I, and then I was like, am I saying it wrong? And now I just say whatever comes out. I don't really,
I think they said before that it was Head-Airoi or
Head
something like
Aeroy,
Yeah.
Head Aeroy.
This
I
is
like
a very
that.
circular conversation.
We keep coming. Yeah, damn it, chat. Question
Bologna
for Top
allowed
Notch.
for next
Opinions
Sunday.
on the current Trident lineup. What are your opinions on the current Trident lineup after the game today?
So
My
I've
opinion-
casted Trident
that. Okay.
3 times, and Tompo has wrecked solo lane every time. Every time he's destroyed his solo lane. Like
Damn it, Top
Hercules, and then it was Chunga, and I think there was another game which I can't remember, but yeah, he's been doing very well.
Yeah,
Notch?
I think personally, I think Divine is a better solo laner, but Topnotch he's filling the role really well. Honestly, he's filling really big shoes, and he's doing a really good job of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's really good competition going up against Toppo, and I really enjoy it. But
So
no more
right.
Kumbhakana.
I think I know who Nightfall's Bay is.
Oh God.
Anyways.
Should we let this out or not?
No, it's alright.
Come back to LOL. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I know exactly who it is. So let's just
Are
ignore
we
it.
excited for next week's DeOCEide? You bet we are. We get
Oh,
to
did we
talk
mention our special guest?
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh, guys, next week, I feel I do need to confirm this, so not confirmed. We're gonna have Smitten on the podcast. Oh my god. Freak out time. But yeah, no, Smitten said that she would love to be on our podcast. When precisely, we do not know yet. I do need to get a time, and we do
And
need to
it
confirm.
may
But yes,
result in us having an earlier podcast to better cater to
Yes.
Smith's time zones.
yes, she is in A, who are 5 hours ahead, but 1 day behind us.
That'd be really cool. I'd love to see more like known figures. Like if we could get like pro players like from NA or EU, like just how
Oh, God.
awesome would that be?
Nightfall's already messaging Ataraxia.
I've got him
Like
on
I don't
speed
know
dial.
about. We probably wouldn't be able to get those like top tier. Like oh my god, it's Zapman. But like
Let's try it. Let's have a
the
crack.
teams
Yeah.
that are the good teams, but and they're like an SPL and stuff, but aren't sort of like memeified for being huge icons.
You know what? I'm gonna have a crack at getting Hindu Man.
Oh, dude.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing
Dude.
at that chat. Dude, Hindu
Wow.
Man would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
That would be
Holy
great.
shit.
I actually have his Skype contact. I used to cast with him for LOL, so I'll try.
Oh, wow. Cool.
That would be
That's
so
awesome.
damn cool. I love Hindu Man. He's amazing.
I know, right? Oh my god, I have to find it. There's a video back before he got into Smite casting of him going to a LAN where he just like it was like the fake thing where him and the crew went in a couple of days before the LAN and he was just like, oh yeah, they've told me it starts today and no one's here. No one at the airport to pick me up. No one at the convention. And Hindu Man is just a fantastic character within the Smite scene. Is there any more questions as well? Smitten is a feeder, warning you all. Okay.
She's cool though. She's a really nice person.
She does
Um,
casting as well.
yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe if we're lucky, maybe we get like games next week casted by her. That would be cool.
We're gonna have a crack at a few things next week.
We
That
need
seems
Barra.
like a really
Yes.
bad innuendo.
Barracuda. That would be so amazing to have Barracuda. Like, wow.
Barracuda doesn't really seem like he has much of a personality though.
He
So
is
I'm
like the
Barracuda and I'm
chillest.
streaming.
Yeah,
he's very, like-
so cool. Like
Whereas then
he's very lax.
you watch someone like Lass's stream and it's like, oh god, this guy is way too keen.
Yeah, he
Lass
gets,
is awesome, man.
He's like FPS Doug.
we have
so
no
cool.
idea who that is.
FPS Doug. You guys haven't seen Pure Image?
No,
Oh come on.
the only
I'm
one
just-
in the chat.
There'd be like three
Okay.
people in chat that have seen Pure Image.
I'm gonna open this one up to the chat. Who would you guys like to see on our podcast? Who would you like us to have a crack at trying to get on here?
Well, here's a good question.
Not the sorry, Hugo.
I was gonna say from Destroy 8 R9. Thoughts on what you believe needs nerfs on Bologna?
Ooh.
We kind of mentioned that earlier. Temperwolf said something. Again, I think the problem with Bologna is she's good at too many things, but definitely I think her life restore is ridiculous. She can like actually 1v3 because the amount of health that she gets back is just absurd. Like I think and like her clear is so strong. Like she can just two-shot waves with her auto attacks on Axe. I think she needs less lifesteal so she can't solo Fire Giant, and maybe a bit less AOE on her Axe, whatever it's called.
Her
What do you guys
hammer?
think?
Is it her
Yeah,
hammer?
hammer.
I think the only thing that really needs to be toned down is her lifesteal. Until she's at a point where she can't solo Fire Giant, that's where I believe she's
Well, it's
broken.
not actually life steal. It's a heal every third auto attack.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like,
It's not
the
really
same.
life steal. Well, no, because life steal, the more damage you do, the more health you get. The health restore is like a flat amount. So even if you like build like pure tank, you're getting the same amount of health back as if you were building glass cannon. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah, which is why attack speed is so
Correct
good
me if
on
I'm
her.
wrong. Yeah, but she's so tanky that like she can just build like pure damage and still be unkillable in fights because of the amount of health she gets back.
She's just got too much. She's got too much
Yeah.
utility.
And
She's like old
she
Wukong.
has stunning good looks on her ultimate.
Like,
Oh my
shut up.
God.
I think she's the only warrior that
Please.
doesn't have to build tank items. Like, if you try building any other warrior, like, as just pure damage, you'll just get bursted. But with Bologna, you can somehow avoid doing that because your kit just gives you way too much.
So I
That's
just
my
want to
opinion.
point out Hydro Spoon. Thanks very much. He says just want to give a shout out to Machine Knightfall and Rank for really good casting today. Very
Oh,
good
thank
job.
you.
Thanks a lot, man. We really
That
appreciate
was the first
comments
ever
like that.
trio cast I think most of us have done.
Yeah, I think like from what I've seen, that's the first trio cast of Smite.
I've done one before, but it was in person, so it was a lot easier
Oh, okay,
to know
yeah.
who's going to talk. It's especially hard because Rank and I both do the play-by-play, so we kind of like... Yeah, I want to do this engagement. Damn
And then we
it.
both shut up. And then we both shut up at the same time. Was the worst part.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there like, I'll just let these guys go for it, you know? That was great.
Yeah. And also,
You're
like,
gonna see us. We're gonna finally cast together in person at the convention. We're gonna be like, no, I'm doing the play-by-play this time.
So if you guys have any more questions or comments you want to chuck at us, we'll keep going for a little bit of time. What else do we have?
Let's start out with our TeamSpeak hangout. How about that? Let's hang out on TeamSpeak.
On stream?
Yeah, and then
Is
we'll
that a
just
good
like,
idea?
That's a good point, because we do want to keep swearing down to a minimum, and so far the swear counter is 1. That was top notch right at the start.
I
obviously missed one.
I messed up.
It's
boys.
all good, dude. I can bleep it out.
I didn't go into stream mode instantly.
It's all good.
This might be a nice place to leave it then, and we'll move on to our TeamSpeak hangout. Guys, if you don't have the TeamSpeak server, kind man Knightfall has just linked it for us, which is fantastic. We're going to hang out in the social room on the TeamSpeak server, or even in the event viewing room, because that's where everyone seems to be going on TeamSpeak at the moment. But we thank you very much for joining us on the podcast once again. Temperwolf, a big thank you for coming and joining us as our guest this week.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Callum, TheMachine, and Josh Knightfall, thanks for such amazing casting buddies today. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and thank you once again for joining us.
Cheers, man. Thanks everyone for coming on.
but we haven't spent like 45 minutes plugging.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. Cool. Yeah, it's been great.
We'll do that on the YouTube.
Generals,
VODs.
gentlemen, do your plugs.
I was kidding. I think by now everyone knows who we are. That we don't really need to do this every time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
let's
we're all
move on.
good. We'll just chuck it in the YouTube VOD, which will have pre-show highlights. Although there wasn't much this week, but there was amazing ones last week.
There
so
was.
I definitely recommend.
And then there was the midstream bot. freaking out
Yes,
by-
I was Bart. He was
Dude,
in
I'm
last
so
week.
jealous. I'm so jealous that I missed that.
freaked the.
I would've just
I want to
fanboyed.
swear.
Okay.
That and last
But,
week
like-
half of it was you guys just telling your stories, and I didn't get to tell my story, so I'm sad.
Okay. Well, okay.
Shall we do
finally,
stories?
Let's
Let's extend it longer.
hang on.
Really?
Let's close out with Topnotch first. Topnotch, once again, thank you for joining us,
Every week.
especially after some hard losses today. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming along after that.
Putting a smile on.
Yeah, man.
Good sport.
All right, and finally, let's take us to the end of our stream. Callum, TheMachine McCall, how did you get your in-game name, and how did you get your start in casting?
Okay, well, so for a very, very long time, my name was Ownage Machine, like spelt with a P, like spelt Ownage Machine, and that's going back to pure ownage. And recently I changed it because I was sick of sounding like a 13-year-old, and it's also really awkward to type, like when you're like, hey, check out my stream at twitch.tv/ownage but with a P. What? So like PWNAG machine. Like, what? So I wanted something like really easy. But so how I got like Ownage Machine, like I just finished watching Pure Ownage and it was such a cool show and I was like, yeah, owning. And I was like 12 and we're playing Call of Duty 1, and my brother, his name was like Electronic Sucking Machine. I think it was some like dirty porn reference or something stupid. And, yeah, and I was like, oh well, what am I? I'm an Ownage Machine, and it kind of just stuck. And then yeah, eventually just change it into TheMachine because it just sounds a lot better. And then I also like I changed all my URLs. Like it's a really hard thing to do is when you have a name for so long and you change it. Like I didn't even change it that much. It's still Machine, like Ownage Machine, TheMachine. So it wasn't too drastic. So people still sort of knew like Machine, but I had to like change my Twitter. My YouTube is still www.youtube/OwnageMachine0. So that's why whenever I plug, I just say generalsgentleman.com because I bought a URL that redirects to my YouTube because it's a lot easier. So that's a tip. If you have a really shitty YouTube URL, go buy a URL for like $12 on DreamHost, and then just have it redirect into your YouTube, or like a stream link as well. So that's pretty cool.
Alright. There we
Yeah,
go.
I still think TheMachine is kind of a stupid name, but like again, it's kind of too late to change it.
You're set. Because
Yeah.
he's a big Company of Heroes 2 streamer, for anyone that doesn't know.
And Command and Conquer Generals, hence Generals Gentlemen. That's where that came from.
Rank likes
So
it.
there's a lot of confusion. People like refer to me as GG. Basically, what the General's Gentleman is, it's my YouTube channel. And that's sort of like the partnership with myself and my co-caster, Icon Hawk, who lives in Perth. And you've seen us cast before. So like my username, like GG the Machine, is because the machine was taken. So I just put GG in front of it. So my name is The Machine. Like General's Gentleman is just sort of my YouTube, basically.
There you go. And how did you get your start in shoutcasting?
Well, okay, so basically, I went through like a massive StarCraft 2 phase because I love StarCraft 1. I've always been huge into RTS. And when StarCraft 2 came out, my TS is probably really annoying. I'm gonna mute my TS quickly. It keeps letting me TS. Okay, down. It's cool. So like I was really getting into it, and as a result, I was like watching heaps of Day 9, and I was like watching heaps of like shoutcasts to like learn the game, because shoutcasts are such a good way of learning, because not only are you watching replays, you're watching pro players, but you're also then having someone explain it to you, so you're getting all that insight and analysis. So it's very valuable. So and then like a few years ago, when we were landing, we were all playing Command and Conquer Generals. It was like the sort of the phase we were going through when we were landing. And my friend Blake, Icon Hawk, who like I wasn't that sort of close with at the time. Like he wasn't very good at generals. So I was like, you know, Blake, you should like watch some shoutcasts. It's a really good way to learn. It's a really good way to improve. So he came over one day, and then we went on YouTube and we were just like looking up, you know, Command and Conquer Generals shoutcasts, and we found a few on YouTube, and they were all so bad. Like they were just awful. Like it was like a 13-year-old doing it, or it was like some guy that like you couldn't quite like understand his like crazy accent or something, and they weren't very good. And we were like, dude, like we could do better than these guys. And like, yeah, like we totally could. So then yeah, we just had to go at casting. We just downloaded some replays and we just started casting. And like the first game that we did, like we watched the replay, and then we went through it, and we sort of like wrote a script, like a very loose script for this game. So we sort of like planned what we were talking about, and then we did it, and you know we thought it was really good, and we like posted it on YouTube. We got like 1,000 views because of like the fan site. We were on GameReplays.org, which I have a mouse pad for, I think. And yeah, got good feedback, and I was like, yeah, like that's really good. And then we sort of stuck with it. And like looking back, we were absolutely terrible. Like our first videos were so bad. We were like really dweeby and like really awkward. And I think really everyone is when they start casting. It's something that it does take a while to get good at. But yeah, we just got a lot of feedback. And I think that's sort of the luxury that I had, is because for most people when they start YouTube, you just get like no views. You post a video, you put it on your Facebook, you get like 12 views. It's like 12 views. Whereas because I was like really involved with, you know, the fan site, GameReplays.org, which has like a lot of different RTS games, there was a lot of views from that. Like, you know, the whole like sort of fan site like watched it, and then from that, like, you know, maybe someone posted on Reddit or something, and it got a fair bit of views, and then you get that you know, consistent fan base. So we just kept doing generals, and then you know I moved on to other games that I liked at the time, StarCraft 2, and then I moved on to League of Legends. And then we're doing League of Legends for ages, and I was like, I was really trying to get far with League of Legends, but I kind of got sick of it. Yeah, we both were.
And we both got sick of it.
Yeah, a few reasons, like the community, the game itself, oversaturation. Like there's just so many league casters. But half the reason why I really enjoyed League of Legends was because there's like a massive scene in Perth, where like there isn't really that. Like the only sort of 3 games in Perth, and this it probably goes for everything else in Australia, is like League of Legends, Dota, and CSGO. Like, so there was a lot of like local events. There was a lot of local tournaments they were doing casting for. I was doing like bar viewing events and stuff for League of Legends. But now, yeah, I just kind of got over it. And it's sort of at this time where Rankonius and I were like, man, like what can we cast now? Like we need something new to cast. And then at PAX, Rank was like, dude, like the high res guys are here for Smite. We should like totally get on with it, and they're looking for new casters. And then I just sort of like spontaneously like, oh, there's a Smite thing. And then
they were like, oh, look, we've got a microphone, because I was chatting to them beforehand as well. And then they were like, oh, look, we've got a microphone. Do you guys want to have a crack, seeing as you're shoutcasters? And, oh my god, how fun was that? That PAX Australia was like the best thing ever.
Yeah. So we played we casted Smite before we even played it. We were just casting Arena. And we were like, sort of like what Rankonius does now, when he's like, lots of damage from this AOE ability. He died, like vague as possible.
I knew what Ra was. Ra was the only god I could play at that point.
Yeah, but I hadn't played a single game. But yeah, then there was like there was the show. I don't know what it was called, but there was Todd Allen Harris that like he did the talk about Smite, where he was saying like where Smite came from and stuff, and like that was really interesting. And then I was just like talking to some random guy next to me, and he was like, "Yeah, there's like an after party thing," and he was like, "Oh, you need a ticket," and I was like, "Shit!" And the other guy was like, "Hey, I have a free ticket," and I'm like, "Can I have it?" And then we went to the after party thing. And then I met Rankonius for the first time in person, which was cool because we dealt a lot like over Skype, but never really in person. And then I met people like Switchbay and Killage, and like everyone was like fanboying like over Drybear like really hard, like, oh my god, it's Drybear.
Well,
Who the hell is Drybear? And then and a few months later now it's like, oh my god, Drybear. Like if I meet him again, it'd be crazy. So because basically like I'm trying to like eventually make a career out of shoutcasting, because it's something that I'm just like very passionate about. Like it's something that I really can look for, something that I really enjoy. It gives me such a rush that like I don't really get from anything else. Like for being like a pro player is not fun. Like you spend months and months practicing, and then you lose and you get like really butthurt because you're like, well, that was a waste of 6 months.
Not to take away from Topnotch or Temper.
Not to take away from Topnotch, but that's what I found. Like I got really into StarCraft 2, and I played at RF LAN, and I lost to Asians that were just better than me. Whereas like when you're a shoutcast, like you never lose. You're always winning. Like the only time you lose is stasis mode. But like no matter who wins a tournament, the shoutcasters always come up on top. The best part about
League of Legends shoutcasting is no matter what happens at the end of the game, it comes up with the victory screen.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it does that with Smite. I don't think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's basically more or less my story. So
that's a good story.
Yeah. It ties into my story quite well.
Because I do a lot of YouTube for like Company of Heroes 2 and Generals and stuff, but like those are very like small communities. If people want to say Smite's small community, they are wrong. Like Smite Oceania, yeah, sort of. But like those are games that have no potential for like actually any proper casting jobs. I just do them for the fun and because I get lots of views on them.
I mean, admittedly, they're fucking like when I sit down, I've watched like a heap of your videos from Generals, Company of Heroes, whatever. Yeah, everything like 0 Hour and like all the modern ones and whatnot. And there is some really significant stuff in those games, and they're fantastic games to shoutcast because there's so much to talk about all the time, and it's intense stuff. But you can also dumb it down for other people and bring it across to them as well. But it's just the lack of people that it'll never take off into an esport. If it would to take off in an esport, it'd be one of the best esports out there. But
there's a lot of reasons why it won't. Like there's a lot of RNG, like a lot of RNG. The game's really unbalanced. Like it's so poorly balanced that the devs are like actually retarded. They don't know how to balance it. It's the balance is a joke. So like, and also like they're not trying to make it eSport. Whereas like Hi-Rez are obviously throwing money at Smite. Like please be an eSport. So yeah, whilst I love those games and whilst I get a lot of views on YouTube, where I don't get like anything on YouTube for Smite because of my 5,000 subscribers, none of them actually play Smite. All those views are like locally from the page and stuff. But like I think Smite has a lot of potential, and I'm really trying to get into it as it takes off. So I think that's kind of my story.
Yeah.
Do you know whose story we haven't heard?
Temperwolf?
Yes.
Oh. Man, now we're just expanding this podcast for the point of it now.
Why not, though? Why not?
It's pretty unfair to have my story, but not his.
Yeah.
All right, go with it. Would
and then, you like to
we'll
share,
call
Temper?
it
Would you like to share?
Oh, God.
Temperwolf,
what do you
how
wanna
did you
know?
get into competitive gaming, and why Smite now? Did you come from another game?
I used to be a peasant console gamer.
Oh.
We were all there once, buddy.
I wasn't.
Well, I was.
What? Get the hell out.
Yeah.
We're getting this guy into Call of Duty.
I played Call of Duty for 7 years.
Whoa.
Nice.
Which one?
All of them. They over the 7 years.
All of them.
Pretty much, yeah. 6 or 7 years, but I think just a bit before Call of Duty 4. Then when Call of Duty 4 came out, it was me and a group of mates. We literally bought every Call of Duty. I've put in, across those years, probably more hours than I ever put into Smite. Like, I put ungodly hours into Smite, but I used to be a massive console COD player. Never really took it, seriously. It was just a casual thing that we used to do. But I used to do all that stuff. And then from that, I was like, PC gaming looks so good. Like, shiny graphics, all that kind of stuff. I was actually following MLC Stealth at the time. He used to do Call of Duty videos where, like he got nukes and all that kind of stuff. Those YouTube,
Yeah.
like what you saw, like YouTube blew up with for a while.
They win the
You
game
can-
in like 25 seconds.
Well, yeah, well, basically, like, impressive feats in Call of Duty. Like, MLC Stealth used to do that. He used to be a COD player, funnily enough. And he posted a video of Smite. I'm like, Smite? What the hell is this? Like, this looks cool. Watched a couple of videos he put up on that, and then he disappeared off the planet. And then I later realized he actually went professional in Smite. I'm like, what the hell? From there, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I'll fork out the money. Forked out 2K for my PC, set it up. Basically, one of the first games installed on my computer was Smite. And basically from there, like, I just played it. I was like, oh, no servers. Well, that sucks. Oh, let's give it a try. So basically from there, I just started playing. I didn't stop. I once tried to go like, my first step into competitive was actually with Gruffdogger, funnily enough. I met him, I think it was just in a casual game or whatever, like found out that he was an Aussie or something. And we got talking, and we formed a team called Anarchy. That was it. We formed a team called Anarchy and tried to enter the Challengers Cup for NA. And we got embarrassingly shit on. And that's the only word like. There's a lot of words to describe it, but it was streamed. It was an embarrassment.
Oh,
We
God.
went like 52-1.
What? Wow.
I don't know, like
Okay.
huge
Whoa,
kills, huge amounts of kills.
Jesus.
We got literally manhandled. And I almost quit Smite then and there.
Whoa.
Wow.
I was like, you know what? We're never getting servers. We're never doing this. High res is sharpening us. Like, imagine the pinnacle of anger and salt. That's where I was.
I think Topnotch can.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm speaking to the salt maestro here. Basically, yeah, like I almost quit Smite. I did pretty much. Like I went off and I started playing other games, all that. And then the PTS came around. And then I was like, wait, what? Servers? Wait, what? Come again? So I started playing. Got into the PTS, and I found the whole Smite OCE community just basically was formed in that PTS, pretty much. Like all the major players and all that stuff that are still kicking around now, everyone met in that PTS, and it was like, oh wow, okay, so anti-alias, like that were a community that were already created, all that. Couple of little remnants from Anarchy, like all the players were there that you just know, and then all these new people flooded in, and we all got to know each other. We were trying to run these casual games in the customs, and then from there transitioned into the main servers, where I then went and played non-stop ranked. I then became one of the first five people in OCE to hit over 2K elo.
Nice.
So that was fun. Like back when everyone used to play ranked back in the day. And we built up the community. That's where a lot of teams were initially formed. I was a part of TCAM, Team Kamikaze, which was ex-Trident. That's what Trident organization used to be, along with Gruffdogger, Red Oxide, all that. I used to be the mid laner. And then from there, that 50 ping life, now known as Row, took notice of my rank skills, how I was playing, my attitude and all that. And he then, from there, extended an offer for me to join his team, which is now currently known as Incite. I wasn't quite clicking with TCAM. There was a few little things, just play style wise, and I didn't feel it. So I got the offer from Row and basically went from there. And yeah, we've been strong ever since.
There you go.
Nice.
And that's me.
That's
And here I am.
really cool. That is a really nice in-depth story. All right.
That's actually really cool. Like, I did the same. I went from console to PC, just because one guy who played Call of Duty got a Smite, like a closed beta. He's like, "Here's some free codes," and I'm like, "Wow, thanks, man." I got into closed beta from there. So yeah,
It's addicting, man.
it
Damn
is.
Smite. It's like cocaine, except it's a game.
Like, what is this? And it's free to play.
Yeah.
This is the
Oh,
most
I've
free
spent
cocaine
too
I've
much
ever had in my life. I mean, what? We've never done cocaine.
Not like I've spent like $200 or something on the blasted thing. Oh,
I bought my God pack, and then like a couple weeks later went to PAX.
Really?
I got
Yeah.
mine for free.
Whoa.
Lucky.
You want to
I
share?
spent
share
money
some of that?
on Smite, but the only money I've spent was for the Joust tourney that I ran, where I bought gems for Incite or whatever team they were. It was the Incite members. I don't know if Temperwolf was on that. I don't think it was. I think it was Sporks, Biggie, and Subfloor. And then after that, it was like, oh, Hi-Res are gonna give us gems for things. That's cool.
Damn. All right, guys. Well, this is probably an appropriate place to leave it. Now that you know the backgrounds of TheMachine, Temperwolf, Notch, Knightfall, and myself, we're going to have to wish you a good evening. We'll see you on the TeamSpeak server, !TS in the chat if you want to find out where that one is. But unfortunately, it's time to say it. Goodbye for now, but not forever. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.